Hello all, welcome back to my fragrance journey. My name is Ron, and today I am going to be sharing 5 fragrances that I'm looking forward to wearing more this autumn. Now, first things first, I live in the Phoenix area. Autumn wear, autumn when. Not in September, sadly. It's not going to be that cool or breezy or leaves turning really, any of that good stuff until actually more like mid to late October. That said, I wear what I want when I want. So even though I feel that these are especially good in the autumn time, or at least I particularly enjoy them in that type of weather, again, I'm going to wear them whenever I would like to. And I've actually, I think, worn all of these. I'm looking now back at them. I think I've worn them all during the summer. Yes, I have. So again, whenever, wherever. Very Shakira here. But these are especially good in the autumn. So without further waffling, let's get, one last waffle actually. Just a mini waffle. I appreciate that everyone was real chill about the sound being less than ideal in my last video because, again, I am in the land of Satan's crotch and it is surface of the sun temperatures most of the time. So my AC just, it does what it does. And so normally I've been filming around that kicking on and off. But the last video I just said, balls to the wall. Let's do it. Let's film because I don't want to melt. So, something's got to give. All that to say, we're going to continue on with that trend in this video too. Right now it's off. Right now it's cool and calm and collected. But at any moment it might pop back on, in which case you might hear it. And, I do apologize that it's not so great. I know no one probably cares as much as I do. But still, I appreciate everyone being good about that last time. Anyway, on to the perfume. All right, so first up we have Deixis by Fizzotic. This was a fragrance that initially was a limited release. It came out, I think, June-ish, late May, somewhere around there this year. And it was one that was created by Bruno Fazzolari, who is the perfumer, owner, founder, whole thing for Fizzotic. And this was one that he actually created in kind of the wee early morning hours that he was kind of taking for himself as personal / creative time while he was caring for his father, who was basically in home hospice with him as his primary caretaker. And there's a lot more detail and just like videos and I think posts on his website about the creation of Deixis. I think it's a really interesting and bittersweet story to it. And I think it adds something to this fragrance when you kind of wear it and smell it knowing the context of how it was created. All this to say, the whole reason that it was limited was that because Bruno was so busy with everything, he said that he didn't really have time to do like an official big launch of this. It was kind of, if he wanted to do it, the easiest way to get it out there would just be to hand mix himself a very limited batch, which is what they normally do these days since they, have scaled up. So he made this small batch. I think it was limited to 100 30ml bottles, which is their full size, and then which is what I have, and then I think 50 of their travel sizes. And so I set an alarm, made sure I was on the site and ready, because just everything about it, not only the story behind it, but also being that I kind of followed along with the creation with those posts and emails and things like that, it just kind of added to the buildup of it. And just the fragrance itself, it sounded absolutely delightful. So as far as what it's described as and what, Bruno says of it, it is, dropped my phone. That's good. It is notes of labdanum, vanilla, sandalwood, styrax, and frankincense. It is so beautiful. As you can see, it's a very dark fragrance. This thing is pitch black. It's not a color additive or anything. Bruno said that it's just due to the labdanum itself, which is very dark, and there's such a high quantity of it in this fragrance that it's turned it this black color. It's actually so dark that when he created it, he decided to put a warning on it that it may potentially stain fabrics. I haven't had that issue, so something to keep in mind. But it's so resinous in such a beautiful way. This is like the epitome of a warm fragrance. It is so, I'm wearing it now. It's so beautiful. I would say it's really the labdanum and the vanilla and the frankincense. Those are really the things that I get the most, especially the labdanum and the vanilla. And like I say, it's so warm. It's so beautifully blended. It's one of those things that really doesn't have any edges to any component. So even though I can kind of focus in and tell you about the labdanum that I'm getting and the vanilla and everything, that's when I focus in. If I'm just smelling it and passing, it's just, again, the most beautiful warmth. There's really no other way to describe it. I just keep picturing this big weighted blanket. That's what I think of when I spray this. It feels like a blanket in a fragrance. It's definitely strong, but it's so beautifully done. It's so soft. And like I say, very seamless, edgeless. There's nothing harsh about it. So even though it's powerful in a very refined way. There's a real sophistication to this fragrance. And I think that would be beautiful as an everyday scent, all the time scent if somebody doesn't have a lot of fragrances. For me, I don't wear it that often because I just find it to be really special. But when I do, it really makes my day. It's very gorgeous. Now, this is one that, mentioning the limitedness of it and all that, this is actually coming back as another drop. So I don't think he's ever going to do like an official big release. And I don't know at what point he might stop doing drops of this fragrance. But I believe sometime in October, he is going to be doing another drop of this. So it's still limited, but it's not necessarily gone forever as initially was kind of up in the air when it first dropped. So if you're curious, definitely something that will be available. I do believe right now, I could be wrong, I do believe he also has it available as a sample in his different sample sets. So you can see about getting that way. I don't think you have to wait till the next drop for that. But yeah, just a beautiful one, and one that I will happily be wearing, especially in the evenings. Deixis by Fizzotic. Up next, we have Nosferatu by Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. Boy, do I love this fragrance. It's one that I had years and years ago during the earliest days of my true fragrance obsession blooming, and one that I recently got a bottle of again after many, many years, and I'm so happy to have it. This, as they describe it, is desiccated herbs and gritty earth brought to life with a swell of robust and sanguineous red wines. Now, doesn't that sound fantastic? And it is. This, for me, is Geosmin. Truly just dampened earth, but in a way that it's really wine-soaked. They're not kidding. It's this rain dampened, wine-soaked earth, sprinkle over a little bit of herbs just in the background, just a hint of something extra to this, yet at the same time very much in the background. Like I say, just some touches, because the stars of the show are the Geosmin, are the red wine. The wine, of course, has a fruity quality, but it's nothing bright, it's nothing tropical or anything like that, nothing fresh. It is aged, it's mature. This is the darkest of grapes, the darkest of berries, that type of fruitiness mixed with, again, just that kind of grounding earthiness. And I find this so beautiful. I find this to be one that not only do I want to wear in autumn, but I just can't imagine anything prettier for walking amongst all of the fallen leaves. I just think this would be absolutely beautiful. Or if you are the type who does like to take a walk or a stroll through a cemetery, I think this is actually quite beautiful, not just the vampire aspect, but I really think it would be fitting for just those evening time, simple moments. Again, cool weather, breezy, fallen leaves, and a lovely perfume that is very fitting. And that is Nosferatu by Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. So now we have Halston by Halston. This is a fragrance that launched in 1975. The nose is Bernard Chant. He is the nose behind many classic fragrances, including two of my all-time favorites, Aromatics Elixir for Clinique and Lauren for Ralph Lauren. Halston is the newest of his creations to enter my collection. I got this bottle, I want to say earlier this year, January, February, somewhere around then. And it's so beautiful. Now, like a lot of fragrances, well, definitely like a Bernard Chant fragrance would be, and like a lot of fragrances of the time, this is a true kitchen sink. We've got so many different notes. I'm not even going to list them all because there's just so much, and ultimately it doesn't matter, and I'll get on that in a second. But some of the notes include mint and melon, peach, carnation, orris root, ylang ylang, rose, oak moss, vetiver, patchouli, and sandalwood. Why it doesn't matter, though, is not so much that these aren't lovely things and that things you might like or things that you might not like, but like fragrances oftentimes of this era, as Danielle from Perfume Journal recently touched on in a video, there's a kitchen sink as far as the list, but that's not what comes across in the actual fragrance. When they're done well, like really any fragrance, like even when I mentioned earlier with Deixis, you're not going to see the edges. You're not going to see where one note starts and one note stops. You're not going to get this disjointed, clunky thing going on with so many notes competing for your, olfactive attention. No, you're going to get this really gorgeously blended fragrance that just is somehow an amalgamation of absolutely everything, but to the point where you really can't pick any of it out. I mean, occasionally I'll get things. I will get the carnation sometimes. I'll get the oak moss. If I really hone in, I can pick up things. But just like with Deixis, in passing, I just get this gorgeous wash. And it's sophisticated. It's classic. Is it what somebody, as always, would want to call a granny scent? Maybe. I don't know with this one. Maybe. But I don't mind that. In fact, I'm quite attracted to granny scents, so go for it. But I just think it's really pretty. And I think that this is one that, throughout these warmer months, even though I will wear, whatever, whenever, this is definitely one that I haven't felt compelled to reach for in this warmer weather. Something, every time I see it, I'm like, no, cool, cold weather. I mean, I think I wore it once this summer, and it was fine. But I think that that's when it's really going to sing. And so that's why I'm very much looking forward to it in the autumn. So this is Halston by Halston. Now we have Soda Snob by Sniff. This is a fragrance that launched, I believe, last year. I got it last year, towards the end of the year. It's so damn good. So if the name was no indication, it's a cola fragrance, a Coca-Cola fragrance. Not like officially with Coca-Cola, but that sort of accord. It's got the cola, it's got lime, cinnamon, caramel, vanilla, jasmine, I believe. It's really, really gorgeous. So if you are familiar with like classic Coca-Cola, that's how the cola accord comes off to me. It's classic sugared Coca-Cola. That's what I'm getting from it. The lime is also there. It adds a zinginess to it, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's Coca-Cola with lime so much as the lime just adds that zing, almost that initial kind of zippiness or tanginess or burn that you would get from that first really, carbonated sip of soda. It kind of gives that along with the cinnamon that's in there as well. It actually, truly, the fragrance is fizzy, especially in the beginning. Not an aldehydic, sparkling, what I like to think of sometimes as a champagne bubble. No, this is really carbonated Coca-Cola, as you would expect. And it's just really fun. It's actually a fragrance that even if this isn't your cup of tea, you know, if you just ever get curious, I think it's a fun one to try because it really does smell like soda. I remember when I got it, my best friend, who's also my roommate, I had her smell it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's a cup of soda. That's a cup of Coca-Cola." It really is. And so for someone who does love soda as much as I do, particularly actually Diet Coke, not Zero, not none of the other stuff, just good old Diet Coke, or these days Diet Coke caffeine free because you know, the GERD got me. But anyway, even though it's, you know, regular cola isn't my most favorite to drink, as far as a smell, as far as just that overall kind of flavoring, it almost actually, you know, it kind of gives me, I think I've said it before, like a Coca-Cola gummy, that kind of a flavor. Like, it really almost has a taste. Obviously your olfactive system, taste and scent are very linked, but it truly almost feels like you can taste it. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and one that is really good any time of year. It really works even in the hot summer, gorgeous and cooler weather, and it's gonna be so much, honestly, fun to wear in the autumn. So that is Soda Snob by Sniff. All right, and for my last trick, we have Khamrah Qahwa by Lattafa. This is one that launched in 2023. The notes for it are cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, praline, candied fruits, white flowers, vanilla, coffee, tonka bean, benzoin, and musk. This is actually a flanker to Khamrah, the original, which launched, I don't remember when, and it was designed to be a dupe of a Killian fragrance that I also don't remember. It's a very popular one, a boozy one. That's all I remember. I haven't smelled that. I haven't smelled the original Khamrah, but the reason why I got Qahwa was that, one, I was interested in, because this one isn't designed to be a dupe of anything. It's actually a riff on the original, like a standard flanker would be. So they took the original DNA, switched some stuff around, added a coffee note, especially. And so it's kind of just its own thing. And so that interested me because Lattafa typically do a lot of dupes. And so to do something that is actually a play off of one of their other dupes but became its own original fragrance, I thought that was an interesting take, and I really enjoy this one. It is very strong, very intense, very coffee, but in a smooth way. I will say the coffee isn't harsh or, you know, bitter necessarily, or astringent as sometimes coffee can be, or I should say acidic. That's a better term, acidic, like coffee can be. This is smooth coffee mixed with the sweetness, mixed with the warm spices. You do get all of them, the cinnamon, especially that, but the cardamom, the ginger. It's really just beautiful. Again, great for a classic autumnal type of scent. It really makes you think of having a mug of hot coffee with some spices and no booziness. I don't get that, like the original Khamrah was supposed to have, and like that Killian fragrance is supposed to have. I don't get any of that. I just get that gorgeous spiced coffee, the little bit of the vanilla, and again the sweetness. It all makes for something that is, you know, familiar, gorgeous. I had a good time with this one. No need to, you know, try to age it or anything like that. It's just good out the bottle. So yeah, one I very much enjoy for any time of year, but especially this upcoming autumn. That is Khamrah Qahwa by Lattafa. So that is it. That is all. My 5 fragrances that I'm especially excited to be wearing this upcoming autumn. Although, as always, I'll technically be jumping the gun a little bit, I imagine, because, like I said, it'll be some time before it gets truly cool here. But I know once it does that these will all sing in the cold weather. Well, Phoenix cold, which is still pretty warm for everybody else. But listen, I take what I can get, folks. I take what I can get. Anywho, if you haven't subscribed and you would like to do so, I would greatly appreciate that. I'm very close to 100 subscribers, and I'm looking forward to hitting the triple digits just 'cause. Most importantly, though, if you would head down to the comments and let me know if you like any of these fragrances, let me know what you're very excited to start wearing as it turns to autumn, or if you're the other side of the globe and maybe it's going to be what? Okay, if it's going to be autumn for us, it'll be spring? Spring? Is that right? I don't know. It's late, folks. Whatever the heck it is, wherever you are, whatever you're going to be wearing, whatever you're excited for, just let me know down below. We'll talk about it. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me on my fragrance journey. As always, I so appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Take care. Bye.